Hey everybody, how's it going? Miss Pumpkin Son Away here, and today I'll be doing another new movie review. Last week I reviewed The New Mutants, and I didn't really care for it. And I said in the remainder of that I wish I would have saw Bill and Ted Face the Music because that is one of my most anticipated movies of 2020. And I finally got to see it. I got it off of on demand, and I watched it. And here are my thoughts on it. So this is my review of Bill and Ted Face the Music, and we'll see if it's actually worth the wait. The movie takes place a few years later after the events of Bogus Journey, where they're now dads now looking after their daughters. But over time, their albums that they keep releasing start to fail, and they're trying their best to regain the magic that they once had, until they visit from Rufus's daughter from the future that if they don't make their song that could reunite the universe, all of time will collapse. So it's up to them to find the song and bring the universe back together. And their daughters are also along for the ride too, as they go around time searching for great musicians like Mike Mozart, Lance Armstrong, and a few others. So while Bill and Ted are finding their music and their teenagers are finding musicians from other time periods, the wives also get their part of the story here, where they just travel through time, just helping them out each other. Now, I wish they would have done something else with them, because throughout the third half of the movie, it really starts to slow down. But not by that much, because there's still some actually good stuff in it. But it's just that I wish they would have done something a little better with the wives instead of them in one scene and then for another scene later. Yeah, it really slows the movie down to a screeching halt. It's just my opinion, but all the other opinions aside with other people, but to me, now, the movie has some really funny parts in it. Like, when Bill and Ted go further and further into the future, they encounter their future selves, and their future selves are getting worser and worser and worser by the minute, because... So they first see their future selves, and then they notice that their wives are gone. They left them. And they're just rock banding in like a hotel room where hardly anyone is watching, and then Ted is now an alcoholic now. So yeah, that is kind of bad for them. So they go further into the future, and then they see that they kind of broke into some guy's mansion and kind of played it off that they owned it. And Bill has like no hair, he's like completely bald. And then Ted is still an alcoholic, but he's like big and fat now. So yeah, that was kind of... Yeah. Then they go further into the future, and then they get locked up. They got tattoos all over them. So yeah, they start getting like, whoa, that can't be us. They get really shocked by how they looked. So the daughters are also finding different other musicians from different time periods, like Lance Armstrong, Mike Mozart, a few others, more famous musicians. Even a rapper who I don't know his name. I don't think they gave him a name, but if he does have a name, let me know in the comments. While this is happening, a robot is after them. His name is Dennis. And he actually has an arm cannon which lasers people that sends them to hell. So he accidentally shoots Bill and Ted's daughters along with the musicians, and he sends them straight to hell along with Ted's dad. And Bill and Ted are shocked by this because when Dennis told him, they were just visiting their older selves in like a nursery in the future. It was kind of a touching moment seeing them reunite with their older selves laying in a bed as they give them a USB drive that has the song captured in it. But since they notice that their daughters are in hell, they gotta get there and also confront death. to get their daughters back out and do the song at the right time before 7/17 comes and pretty much annihilates everything. So they meet Death, and they're trying to get him back into the band after years ago they kicked him out because he was gaining too much attention over them. So they argue about what happened in their past, and they actually work things out when their daughters actually reunite them by actually talking some sense to Death, therefore reuniting the whole band, and they exit out of hell, landing onto a freeway bridge. So as they land on a freeway, they all come out of the van, and they're trying to figure out where MP46 is. As it turns out, MP46 is the part of the freeway bridge that they're on. So they try to find out how they're going to do the song when they look at their daughters, thinking that they're the ones that can actually carry on their legacy and the song. So while the daughters are working with all the other musicians, Death and also Dennis, with the band, Bill and Ted are actually in their booth with their wives, putting out an infinite amount of phone booths to different other time periods and locations, along as with the present day, so that they could get all the instruments to the people so that they could join them with the song before 7:17 p.m. hits. And the plan actually worked. They reversed it, everything went back to normal. Well, the phone booth was back into one after being split into infinite pieces. They played their song, everything was back to normal, there was no time period, collision, or anything. And that's when it ends. Yeah, it ends really abruptly. Some people might be mad by that, or people might not be offended. It doesn't really affect me that much. But yeah, it felt really rushed ending. But it doesn't really bother me because I enjoyed the film a lot. I think out of all of them, this one's good. The first one was the best. Second one was kind of weird, but this one's right up there with the first. I really enjoyed it, and that's coming from a Bill and Ted fan like me. So yeah, good movie, definitely better than the New Mutants. So I'm gonna give Bill and Ted Face the Music an 8.1 out of 10. I really loved this movie. I thought it was the only good movie that I saw out of this year because, trust me, after seeing travesties like Artemis Fowl, New Mutants, and John Henry, review coming soon of that movie, Bill and Ted Face the Music really put a smile on my face. Not in Joker territory, but in reality, it put a big smile on my face. You can see the first two movies on demand, or you can rent them on DVD and Blu-ray. They're really good movies. If you're a fan of Bill and Ted, definitely see this movie. Give it all the support it gets. It really deserves them all. So that's my review of Bill and Ted Face the Music. I think it's a really good movie. And let me know what other movies you want me to review. And as always, stay tuned. And remember, be excellent to each other and party on, dude.